Okay, we're back in the kebra nagast, or nagas, um, again, and we're going to go ahead and read 48 in the book. And it is the farewell of David. The second, the grief of the people. Okay, so it says the Ethiopians bade the king farewell and departed. But first of all, they had set Zion by night upon a chariot, along with the common merchandise and the stores of every sort of kind. When all the wagons were loaded, the masters of the caravan rose up, and the horn was blown, and the city became excited. Okay, the youth shouted loudly, and the awesomeness and the grace crowned and surrounded Zion. And the old men wailed, and the children cried out, and the widows wept, and the virgins lamented, because the sons of their nobles, the mighty men of Israel, had risen up to depart. But the city did not weep for them alone, but because the majesty of the city had been carried off with them. And although they did not know yet that Zion had been taken from them, they felt sorrow in their hearts, and they wept bitterly. And they were then as when God slew the firstborn of Egypt, for there was not a house wherein there was not wailing, from man even to beast. The dogs howled and the asses brayed, and all those who were left there mingled their tears together. It was as though the general of a almighty army had besieged the great city and had departed it. I'm sorry, apologies, and had captured it by assault and looted it, and taken its people prisoner and slain them with the edge of the sword. So again, this whole thing about slaying with the edge of the sword, swords have been coming up in my feed. Again, feed is just me taking in everything from nature to everything, even things that, people may look at as things that you're not supposed to delve into. But again, all of these things are here at our disposal, and or mine, I shouldn't say that. Okay. And so I'm going to be able to use those things in order to see. Okay. But the sword also is reminding me or making me think of like someone. Oh, there's the moon. Okay. Is also making me think about like certain things being cut off, or people being cut off, a nation being cut off, even when it comes to some form of I don't know, some way of it. Maybe we're not talking about cut them off with a sword, like someone just came and cut everybody in the tribe or the group, right? So we're talking about something else. They have been cut off from a tree or cut off from something. Okay. All right. So it says, King Solomon was dismayed at the weeping and outcry of the city, and he looked out from the roof of the place, the fort of the king's house, and saw the whole city weeping and following them. And as a child whom his mother has removed from her breast and left, followeth in her footsteps, crying and weeping. Even so did the people cry out and weep, and they cast dust upon their heads and shed tears with their eyes. When Solomon saw the majesty of those who had departed, he was deeply moved, and he trembled, and his bowels quaked, while his tears fell drop by drop upon his apparel, and said, Woe is to me, for my glory hath departed, and the crown of my splendor hath fallen. My belly is burned up, because this my son hath departed. And the majesty of my city and the nobles, the children of my might, are removed. From this moment our glory hath passed away, and our kingdom has been carried off unto a strange people who know not God. Even as the prophet said, the people had not sought me, have found me. From this time forth the law and wisdom and understanding shall be given unto them. And my father prophesied concerning them, saying, Ethiopia shall bow before him, and his enemies shall eat the dust. And in another place he said, Ethiopia shall stretch her hands out to God, and he shall receive her with honor, and the king of the earth shall praise God. And again he said, behold, the Philistines and the Tyrians and the people of Ethiopia, who were born without the law shall be given unto them, and they shall call unto Zion, because of a man who shall be born. Will this man then be my son, who is begotten of me?